Welcome to this episode of To Go Rome, and this is an impromptu episode. Weren't planning to make this actually. We're travelling, and one of the biggest challenges when travelling is when something goes wrong, and being in a foreign land, how you manage it. We're in Malaysia, and 2 weeks ago, whilst out walking, I'd just gone really dizzy and thought I was going to fall over. In standard fashion, I didn't mention it to Sarah at all, fear that I'd have to do something about it, hoping that it was just a one-off situation, but over the last couple of weeks, hasn't really gone away. So Sarah and I were discussing this yesterday and decided I need to get something done. She's just reminded me that this is in fact a year to the day when I was doing exactly the same thing in Greece. Now I'm in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So what's the problem? I'm dizzy, I feel pressure in my ears. So I went online yesterday and found this medical centre, Someway at Velocity. I managed to book an appointment online to see an ear, nose and throat specialist. I'm going to take you on the journey. Let's see what the process is like, can they resolve it, and equally as importantly, what's it going to cost me? Come on, let's see. I'm a little bit worried, if I'm honest.
Walking into the hospital, it felt a lot more like a hotel than a hospital. There was a little information centre that you could go to, explain about your appointment. They guided me to the right floor. Once I got to the floor, there's a big check-in area. That's your first point of contact, and that's where you kind of get set up for the day. Showed my details to the person on the registration desk, and she pointed me towards a check-in screen, much like you get a meat counter. So I keyed in my passport details, pressed OK, it recognised me, and I received a number. That wasn't it though. Once my number was called, I needed to go over to another window just to confirm some details, give a photo of my passport, and then head down to where I was going to go and be seen by the ear, nose and throat specialist.
Been to see the ear, nose and throat person. Really good technology, looking up my nose, down the ear canal, really good. Couldn't find anything. I've been sent up to the 7th floor for a hearing test, and then I've got to go back down there. No idea what this is going to cost, but it's really well organised.
Going down.
So I've just had the hearing test, and really thorough test, really good. What it's found is what I've always known. I had a hearing test in the UK probably about 3 or 4 years ago, Sarah.
Oh, more recent than that.
Was it more
2
recent
years
than
ago,
that?
1 year ago.
And when I had the long test, it's quite a long test, and she said, no, you're fine, your hearing's fine. Just had a much more detailed investigation, looking at the bone and the inner ear and the eardrum, and it's found that in my left ear I've got a lot more hearing loss. I've got some hearing loss in this ear, but more in this, and we've come to the conclusion it was me going to a lot of live concerts when I was younger. She's writing up a report. I don't need a hearing aid, so I don't think we've got to the bottom of the problem, but she can write up the report, and I'm going back to the first doctor to see what we do next, if anything. So I've just got the results back in the lift. As you can see here, my right hearing drops off, my left hearing goes off a cliff. Anyone that knows about hearing, how's that look to you? She said, that's a baseline for 2022, check it again in a couple of years. But I'm going back down to level 3 to see the ENT doctor again and see where we go from there. Fair to say we were no closer to diagnosing the issue, and you can see my legs in there as I'm having my blood pressure taken. Decision of the ENT consultant was that I needed to see somebody else. She's prescribed something, which is a nasal spray. I've got this interesting bone in my nose that she thinks should be surgically removed. It kind of cuts in, so that's that. But she's referred me now because she's done blood pressure, so she's referred me to cardiology. So I'm heading down there now. So I've had 2 consultations with ear, nose and throat, I've had an ear test, and now cardiology. Let's see how this goes. Cardiology turned up that really my blood pressure tablets aren't doing the job they should be doing, but more about that shortly. We're all done. I'm guessing you're wondering what it's going to cost, but first of all I'll tell you what I've done, because I've got a whole list here. So I've had to pay for latex gloves, a non-sterile gauze, a rigid telescope, equipment usage,
pharmacy for 2 different drugs, registration fee, audiologist for an adult consultation and assessment, and specialist consultation times 2. So one of those was a cardiologist and the other one was ear, nose and throat. Oh no, times 3, because I had to go back. So 2 consultations with the ear, nose and throat and 1 with the cardiologist. So 2 days into the future, and to be honest, I'm not feeling any better. If there's any ear, nose and throat specialists watching this, your input would be invaluable, because this is severely affecting how we travel and how we do everything. I was recommended and prescribed this by the ENT consultant, and just to wrap up what happened with the cardiologist, he tested my blood pressure, and we both knew that my current blood pressure tablets aren't really doing the job. I knew that when I left the UK, and actually we've got booked when we go to Penang a event which is a whole check over of, and that's going to be a video in the future, so it's probably going to be in about a month you'll see that video where we get a full health check. And I knew that I had issues with that, and that I'll have the full health check and then see what to do as a result. The good thing is that the cardiologist has put me on an additional tablet, so I take 1 in the morning now and 1 in the evening. I know, too much information, but that doesn't seem to have resolved my issues. My right ear feels blocked constantly, although the ear canal's totally clear, and all I can do to clear it is blow. It clears for a moment and then blocks up again. Me and Sarah had to pop out yesterday as our apartment was being cleaned, and we just went to a coffee shop down the road for a couple of hours. In there I was feeling nauseous, dizzy, and I feel dizzy pretty much all the time. I'm really at a bit of a loss. So let's get back to this video where you'll see how much all of this cost for what was actually an excellent service. I think I just need a deeper investigation into what's going on in here. People have been saying that to me for years, to be honest. I don't know if this is going to resolve the issues, but I've been put on an additional blood pressure tablet and also the nasal spray. So that's the nasal spray I'm going to be taking, and these are the additional drugs, and I'm coming back in a month's time to review my blood pressure situation. So we'll see what that actually turns up. Hopefully it resolves some of my situation anyway. I've been concerned about blood pressure not being right. So this came to a total of, sharp intake of breath, 883 ringgit 70. So what do you think? This service we got here at 10 o'clock. That was my first appointment. It's now 10 to 12, so that's an hour and 50 minutes. Basically having 3 consultations and an audiologist and registration and signing out, paying and collecting the pharmacy. Getting all of that done on one day with only 1 appointment booked, and all the other appointments, they phoned through and I went up and down, didn't have to leave the building, up and down and lift to different areas. I think that's phenomenally good. And when I looked online at this medical centre before we got here, so many people saying, locals basically saying, don't go there, it's overpriced. What do you think? I think being a foreigner in Kuala Lumpur, it feels pretty well priced. So we'll see in a month's time the impact of this, but let us know in the comments what you think. Is this the sort of thing that you would feel comfortable to do? Everyone spoke English, that wasn't an issue. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. To go back. Bye.